Learn more at howlingforwolves.org. Let's live and let howl.
As we head towards colder weather, it's important to make sure you're up to date on vaccinations and protected from COVID-19. The Native American Community Clinic is now administering the updated Pfizer bivalent booster. The updated bivalent booster helps protect against the original COVID-19 strain and against newer Omicron variants. And it will help restore protection that has decreased since previous vaccinations. People aged 12 and older are now recommended to get an updated bivalent booster dose at least 2 months after their last COVID-19 shot. That means the bivalent booster may be given after a person's primary series or after their last booster shot, regardless of what brand you received before. Even if you've already had COVID-19, you should get vaccinated. Right now, at the Native American Community Clinic, you can get COVID-19 vaccines, including updated boosters, at the same visit as other vaccines. However, if you've received a recent monkeypox vaccine, you may need to wait 4 weeks before you can get a COVID-19 vaccine, and you should discuss this with your provider. Schedule your vaccination appointment with the Native American Community Clinic by calling 612-872-8086.
Hey, Cudahy to all my friends and relatives in 4 directions. This is Robert Pilot of Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake. I'm here to ask you for your support. Finding honest Native-centered news is not easy. But with your support, we're able to provide accurate information about Standing Rock, Line 3, treaty violations, and COVID-19 in our Native communities. Please visit Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon and donate if you can. That's Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon. Pinigigi, and thank you for your support.
Hey, Ogama, I've been hearing a lot about this term, climate justice. What is that?
Climate justice is recognizing that the negative impacts of climate change don't affect all people equally. It also means transitioning from a fossil fuel-based economy to a more sustainable future. MN350 is one of the groups that's pushing for this transition to protect our futures. You can even get involved too.
That's great, especially since I'm concerned about pipeline projects like Line 3. How can I help MN350?
Just find them on Facebook or visit mn350.org.
With your AM 950 weather, I'm Brett Johnson. Look for cloudy skies tonight with a low around 35, Friday sunny with a high near 49, and Saturday sunny with a high around 60. Vinaigrette is locally owned and has been offering the finest olive oils and vinegars since 2009. At the store, you can taste a wide variety of oils and vinegars, and if you find something you like, they'll bottle it for you right on the spot. Vinaigrette is located off 50th and Xerxes in Minneapolis or at vinaigrettemn.com.
Portions of Native Roots Radio may be pre-recorded.
It's a good day to be indigenous.
Get up, stand up.
They are going to become more brutal.
Cody Cup, Henny Cup,
because all the hippies were trying to be Indians anyway.
They're going to become more repressive because it's a matter of dollars and their illusionary concepts of power.
Hey, Victor.
We must live in balance with the earth.
And also with recent happenings at Wounded Knee.
I am awake.
Welcome to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Wakanja Hade. Hey, Cudahy to all my friends and relatives in 4 directions. You are listening to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Robert Pilot. We discuss local and national Native news and events, and as you know, Native issues are human issues, and human issues are Native issues.
This portion of the show is brought to you by Alliant Energy, powering beyond.
Yes, they are. Hey, we have a jam-packed show, and we're going to really lead off here for in a minute with the show. We have quite a few guests here, and then we also have Robert Lilligren, and then Wendy with our sacred animal portion of the show. Ogama, there's just a couple things that I'd like you that we talked about earlier that I'd like you to mention to our people all over Turtle Island about what's going on real quick, if you don't mind.
Yes, All My Relations Arts is pleased to present She Who Lives on the Road to War by Rosie Simas Dance. The opening performances start at 7 p.m. tonight with opening reception running from 6 to 8 p.m. at the All My Relations Gallery on Franklin Avenue in Minneapolis. This is a new installation and in-gallery performances that are going to be happening throughout this fall of 2022. So if you can't make it tonight, they'll also be doing performances Saturday at 2 p.m. and Monday at 3 p.m. at Native American Community Development Institute. And I also want to remind you that NACDI has Make Voting a Tradition, which is a project and its culturally specific year-round multi-generational approach to increasing voter turnout and civic engagement. The principle of Make Voting a Tradition is that American Indians are more likely to become politically active when they're engaged by peers and family. So they've created a ton of partnerships, local, statewide, and national, to help you understand how to vote and to get more involved in the civic things in your area. So make sure you check out NACDI, NACDI.org for more information.
Awesome. And we got a big basketball tournament happening too, Ogama. I'd like you to just touch base on that real quick before we start the show officially.
Yes, absolutely. This weekend, Ninjani's One-on-One is having Indigenous Peoples Weekend Basketball Expo. It runs all weekend long, and it's going to be at Harding High School. So you can come share basketball culture, and it is an open, free event for anyone. There's a ton of stuff planned for the Ninjani's MMIW boys basketball team, and it's a way to engage them in their community and activity, but also share culture and dialogue about MMIW and hoop medicine or basketball. They're going to have a couple of really awesome famous and semi-famous people coming in on Saturday to help teach and coach youth in 4th through 8th grade. Coach Jesse Stomsky-Syme, Coach Brady Fairbanks, and Coach Brooke LaFleur. And then they're having a special guest and Coach Ron the Guard, who was a former Harlem Globetrotter. So exciting news happening at Harding High School this weekend.
My old school. And that's a great segue. We have people here from, well, first of all, I want to say a shout out to Civic Media, which we are on all over Turtle Island. So we're over 40 stations live right now in Minnesota and Wisconsin. And we have some great guests here, Ogama. We're going to be talking to these great people from Metro State and talk about a pathway here, and being a former educator and also from Harding. I'm really excited to get this going. So without any further ado, I'm going to make you work a little harder again, Ogama. Maybe we can introduce everybody.
Absolutely. So with us tonight are students from Metro State University here in the Twin Cities. We have Micheal Akimogaabow Loso, who is Eagle Clan and a member of the Mille Lacs Band of Ojibwe. He is a senior at Metro State University for a Bachelor of Arts in Psychology, and he is an International Honors Society member and works part-time as a tutor. He's planning on working towards his PhD in developmental or clinical psychology. We also have Russell Manidugijig Wilkie, who is the Crane Clan and a member of the Leech Lake Band of Ojibwe. He already has a bachelor in computer science and works full-time as a software developer, and he's currently a master's of public and nonprofit administration at Metro State University, and he hopes to further his involvement in the profit sector, and provide opportunities for Native Americans wishing to pursue the STEM field. We've got Rose Norton, who is from the Porcupine Clan and a member of the Red Cliff Band of Lake Superior Ojibwe. Rose is a full-time software developer as well and holds an associate's in computer programming from St. Paul College, and she's working towards her bachelor's in computer information technology at Metro State. She hopes to further her career at her current organization to be a role model for her children, and she's a really big fan of her children's sporting and academic events. And Nicholas or Nick Metcalf is Sechangu Oyate, Burnt Thigh people from the Rosebud Sioux tribe. Nick is a second-year faculty in the social work department at Metro State University. Nick graduated this summer with their PhD in organizational leadership and policy development from the University of Minnesota. Nick's interest is in Indigenous knowledge systems and centering ourselves in this with our everyday life. Nick enjoys spending time with his children and grandchildren who all live here in the Twin Cities. So we have those wonderful guests on today, Robert, and I'm going to let you kick it off with the questions for our guests.
Hey, yeah, right on. Hey, thanks a lot, Ogama. Wendy and I thank you for reading all that. I really appreciate that. And I want to welcome our guests. I think this is a record amount of guests that we've ever had on one segment here. So let's see how this goes. Hey, Nick, seeing that you were the last introduced, how did you choose Metro State? What made you choose Metro State? I know there's a lot of diversity, and they're working on diversity, and it's also works around people's schedule. And that was for Nick.
Yeah, one of the things is that Metro chose me, so that was great, right? I was actually working on my PhD, and one of the faculty reached out to me to start working as community faculty and brought me in to teach macro practice and social work and teaching about preparing social workers in public policy. And so that's how I got involved with Metro and fell in love with it and applied last year and got a job.
Well, that's very cool. And so we're really finding more and more of our relatives, Native Americans, that are really taking the next step into going into school, more so secondary school. And also, I think Metro State, to my understanding, I'm going to ask Rose this, it works around your schedule, and they also give you like good credits for things that you've already done in your life. And did you find that as what happened for you, Rose?
Well, maybe I didn't get credit for any of the things that I already did. I ended up taking a lot of classes right from the ground up because I did start in St. Paul College and I got an associate's there first. So I really started there, and then I guess I did get some of the credits there first, and some of those credits did transfer. So I was able to start and get most of the way before I moved over to Metro State.
Well, how did Metro State support you in a good way? How do you feel you were supported by Metro State, and how do they support all the other students?
Well, the way that I felt supported is a lot by the Voices student group and by the AIAC group, and also by my academic advisor. I recently kind of had a bit of a stumbling block, and I talked to my academic advisor at Metro State University, and he kind of actually talked me off of a ledge. I think working in some of these classes, it can get kind of difficult, and the academic advisor talked to me and kind of actually helped me feel a little more at ease and got me through kind of a tough time. So I think getting through that was really helpful. And then getting the support from other people in this group really helps as well. So.
Wow, that's perfect. Hey, we got to take a quick break. We're talking to students and faculty from Metro State University, which is in St. Paul, Minnesota. We'll be right back. You're listening to Native Roots Radio Presents I'm Awake.
Stay with us.
J&S Bean Factory is a Native-owned, community-supported, cozy, artsy coffee shop which offers roasted on-site beans, live music, and baked goods. Relax in the beautiful outside patio. City Pages writes, voted top 10 coffee shops. Tucked into a quiet corner of St. Paul's Highland Park neighborhood, this coffee shop roasts beans on-site from the best coffee-growing countries in the world. Located at 1518 Randolph Avenue, St. Paul. The good stuff. Hey, Olgama, I've been hearing a lot about this term, climate justice. What is that?
Climate justice is recognizing that the negative impacts of climate change don't affect all people equally. It also means transitioning from a fossil fuel-based economy to a more sustainable future. MN350 is one of the groups that's pushing for this transition to protect our futures. You can even get involved too.
That's great, especially since I'm concerned about pipeline projects like Line 3. How can I help MN350?
Just find them on Facebook or visit mn350.org.
I heard sex trafficking happens a lot in Indian country. What is that?
Here are some of the real reasons why sex trafficking happens in Indian country. Unequal gender roles that were forced on us by colonization. Communities don't have enough resources. Silence around domestic and sexual violence. Lack of attention and justice for missing and murdered Indigenous people. There's a lot of behavior that keeps our communities out of balance. These are just a few true reasons why Native communities are targeted by traffickers. When these acts of violence happen in our communities, it opens us all up for exploitation.
Sponsored by the Minnesota Indian Women's Sexual Assault Coalition.
At Metro State University, students learn from expert instructors in high-demand degree programs such as healthcare, technology, cybersecurity, teaching, and business. As one of the most diverse universities in Minnesota, Metro State University is a flexible learning environment dedicated to equity, inclusion, and anti-racism. Explore more than 60 high-quality undergraduate programs at Metro State University's Open House, online October 11th through 13th, and in person October 19th and 20th. Visit metrostate.edu for details.
Hi, I'm Jane Fonda, and you're listening to Native Roots Radio.
And we're back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
This portion of the show is brought to you by MN350, a grassroots organization fighting for climate justice.
Hey, we're here with students and faculty from Metro State University, and we're really excited to talk about their experience. And also, you know, if you were listening to that last ad, there's an open house coming up here, and I think that's one of the things we might want to talk about too. But let's go to Mick in here and talk about why are you at Metro State, and what kind of advantage do you feel like that you have going to the institution here in St. Paul, Minnesota?
You know, thinking about that, one of the reasons I'm at Metro State is definitely I like the smaller class sizes. It gives you more one-on-one time with your professors, especially if you're not, you know, grasping a concept or idea. It makes the professors real approachable. You know, to be honest, I don't think I would have, I guess, the love for research that I do right now. It's I'm in a place that I never thought I would be in. And I think a lot of it has to do with the support that I received from the faculty there.
Yeah, that's who haven't we talked to now, Ogama? Let's see here. We haven't talked to Russ. Russ, how do you feel about what you can tell us a little bit more about Metro State University and your experience?
Yeah, so I actually got both my bachelor's and pursuing my master's at Metro State. Truthfully, when I did my bachelor's, I wasn't super involved in the American community. And it was a bit of like struggle not taking advantage of that. I was brought in because of like of my family members, and when I came back for the master's degree, I immediately got involved into this Native American group, Voices, and it's been a tremendous help. And there's probably that sort of community to rely on, and this kind of feeling like I can relate to that. Whenever I kind of struggle with some of the stresses of academia, I can just like rely and depend on them to be that sort of support that I really need.
Yeah, and that's important. And I think a lot of us, I know I went back to school as an adult learner years ago, and to know who to talk to, Russ, and I think, well, Nick, what's your feeling on that? Do you get a lot of people reaching out, or is it confusing for us older people to go back to school?
That's one of the things I enjoy about Metro is we have a lot of non-traditional students and a lot of students of color. So a lot of my students in the department are non-traditional students and work and have families. And so we do a lot of work in terms of supporting them and, you know, being a listening ear. You know, life kind of gets in the way sometimes, and we have these dreams, and we try to sort of really work with them where they're at.
That's exciting too, and I think you know, a lot of my students I've had, and I think our older generation too, will be the first time college student in their family, or first time somebody graduating from college. That's all exciting, but it's also a double-edged sword. Don't you agree, Nick? It's kind of frightening.
Definitely, being a first generation student as well, you know, trying to figure out, like, you know, you leave the res and you're going into the big city and trying to figure out, like, how do you sort of survive academia, right? And sort of this really Western perspective, and how do you bring yourself fully into that space and continue to maintain your identity as you're learning how to sort of navigate the system and live in all these sort of different worlds, right? Even language is different, and the way we conceptualize the world is different. And sometimes, you know, one of the things I always encourage students is, like, it doesn't have to be an either or, it can be an and.
Wow, that's a really good point. Rose, what would you tell somebody that's thinking about going back to school, with the experience that you've had, Rose? What would you tell somebody out there that's listening, about thinking about going back to school?
Well, being an older Native American woman, I really had a hard time making that decision, and I took far too long to make it. And I would just tell people, don't be afraid to make that decision. And even if you are older, don't be afraid to make it. I think as Native American people, we are all lifelong learners, and I think that it doesn't really matter how old you are. I I believe you can just go out and do it, and to believe in yourself. I think as Native Americans, and mostly as Native American women, I think we struggle with that part of it, believing in ourselves. So I think we just have to just um, just go out there and just do it, and just know that there are other people out there to help and to rely on. I came into this and I didn't realize that there were other people out there that were in my same shoes, and I didn't realize that there were other people, other natives out there. And I found this group, and I found others, and it's been really a great experience. So just go out there and take a chance and just go for it. That's what I would tell people. Thank you.
Wow, that's awesome. Mick, what would you tell someone who's thinking about going back to school, especially our Native American relatives?
Well, I guess I would think about it, and tell them to think about it and to do it for the right reasons. Definitely don't go into a program that you don't have interest in. Um, and it's about, for me anyway, it was about learning to be able to pay something forward, to be able to teach the next generation something, maybe learn from your mistakes or something like that. So definitely find a program that you're interested in, and it will be able to help your community.
Wow, that's that's a really good response. Hey, Russ, what's your feeling behind, what would you tell somebody that's thinking about going back to school? Sometimes it's been years before since they've been back, and there's that big fear factor.
Yeah, I think one of the best advices I got was to go and talk to your advisor. They definitely are more experienced with how to help navigate through the world of academia. And you'd be kind of surprised that even if you like are not talking to an advisor, you might be like native. The advisors at Metro State tend to be very well connected with the community and can help guide you with people if you want to like look for someone who's a bit kind of like a mentor and helping you, I guess, be inspired and like have a direction of where to go when you want to figure out what to do with your academic career.
Wow, that's awesome. Russ, I'm gonna ask you one more question, and I think I'm gonna ask this to everybody. How does Metro State University support you and students specifically? And
Well,
that's
it's kind of, I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Russ.
Oh, well, there's a lot of equity and representational opportunities that the university provides. We do have like our own center that's like free to use, and it's sort of like snacks and like Native American, like the Circle newspapers and all this fun like educational reading material that's just like free use as well for Native students. It's a quiet place to study. Um, but we also, as part of the Voices Club, we do go and do Native American activities at the university, like events. One of the things we're actually going to be doing is the Stands Open to Public. It's Native American Heritage Month. We're going to have an event that's going to have free catering and performances. It's going to be on November 16th. So if you are interested in that, please mark your calendar and feel free to come.
Wow, that's great to know. Rose, I'm gonna ask you the same question because we're running out of time here, and I want to get to everybody. But uh, why don't I ask you this? What makes Metro State University unique in your eyes, Rose?
I think just having just the student group and the faculty group and the fact that everybody's working together for common, just the common good of everybody. And also, I really like to kind of echo what Montague Russ said, that with the faculty advisors, they have been really helpful to me as well. So that was great.
Wow, that's awesome. Hey, I want to get to excuse me. Who am I talking to right now? Nick, can you tell us a little more about how to learn more about Metro State University?
Definitely. I mean, sorry about that. So one of the things is actually visit our website, metrostate.edu. And then we have a virtual college information session coming up on October 11th through 13th, each evening at 6 o'clock, talking about degrees and options that are available. Metro's a great place to be. I love it there, and I love working there.
Wow. I appreciate you guys really stopping in here. Amik, I got 10 seconds. Amik, give us your best shot on why you like going to Metro State.
On the 10 seconds, I guess I would talk about the prior student success coordinator, and it's a position that's actually open right now. The job closes on the 16th. They've provided so much support to me and encouraged my dreams. And, we really need someone to, fill those shoes and help us out. So Nick is doing a great job, is doing our intern thing, but, that's not what he's hired for, but he's there for us. And that's awesome. We need someone.
Wow, that's great. And we'll have you guys on again. This was really a lot of information and a lot of quick talk. And I really, really appreciate you guys stopping in. You're listening to Native Roots Radio Presents up next, Robert Lilligren. Peeny we'll be right back.
Stay with us.
Hey, Wendy, what are we doing for dinner after the show?
How about we go to J. Selby's on 169 Victoria Street in St. Paul? They have a delicious plant-based menu that's compassionate and environmentally sustainable.
I'm getting their spot-on vegan Big Mac, the dirty secret.
You can pick up and they deliver within a 5-mile radius, or you can call them at 651-222-3263 or visit jselbys.com.
Well, you sold me, Wen. Let's go order at J. Selby's tonight.
I'm hungry.
When we heal from our traumas,
when we face our fears,
let go of our addictions,
when we relearn our values,
when we live our teachings,
respecting our elders,
cherishing and honoring our children,
when we honor and take care of our spirit,
there will be no room left for sexual violence.
Sponsored by the Minnesota Indian Women's Sexual Assault Coalition.
At Metro State University, students learn from expert instructors in high-demand degree programs such as healthcare, technology, cybersecurity, teaching, and business. As one of the most diverse universities in Minnesota, Metro State University is a flexible learning environment dedicated to equity, inclusion, and anti-racism. Explore more than 60 high-quality undergraduate programs at Metro State University's open house, online October 11th through 13th, and in person October 19th and 20th. Visit metrostate.edu for details.
Hi, Minnesota. This is David Packman. You can hear my show every weekday at 2, right after Tom Hartman on AM 950, the progressive voice of Minnesota.
Turn to Auto Technical with your vehicle donation. We have families waiting for a car. Over 85% of unemployed are successful in finding and keeping a job if they have dependable transportation. A car plus a job equals a life changed. 612-919-5526. We have families waiting for a car. 919-5526 or autotech.org.
I'm Rick Smith, host of The Rick Smith Show, and I'm coming to town. Join me and my friends at AM 950 for movie night, Wednesday, October 12th, 6:30 p.m. at Crooner's Supper Club. We'll be showing the new Greg Palast film, Vigilante, Georgia's vote suppression hitman. Come early, get a delicious dinner from Crooner's, and meet with me and the staff at AM 950. After the movie, I'll be hosting a panel discussion about voter suppression. The movie's free to everyone, but you've got to register at am950radio.com.
2022 continues to be a hot real estate market, and any advantage you gain could net you thousands of dollars. If you do plan to move at some point, installing a system from All Energy Solar could increase your resale value and help you sell your home faster. Energy costs will not be going down anytime soon, so a property with a solar energy system could make it much more attractive to potential buyers. Buyers consider electric bills when buying a home, and installing solar panels is viewed as an upgrade. Each kilowatt of solar energy could increase the resale value of your home by thousands of dollars. And even when you sell your home, you'll likely recoup the cost of switching to solar thanks to your increased property value. So if you plan to sell your home, make your home as attractive as possible to buyers by switching to All Energy Solar. Get a free, no-obligation assessment from All Energy Solar by calling 800-620-3370 or visiting allenergysolar.com. That's allenergysolar.com.
With your AM 950 weather, I'm Brett Johnson. Look for cloudy skies tonight with a low around 35, Friday sunny with a high near 49, and Saturday sunny with a high around 60.
I'm Angela Warner, and my grandpa Jim Warner taught us to treat customers like family. And to thank you for 68 years, Warner Stellian is offering unbeatable appliance savings. Go to warnerstellian.com for a $50 exclusive coupon.
Hi, this is Representative Sharice Davids from Kansas. I'm Ho Chunk, and you're listening to Native Roots Radio.
And we're back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
This portion of the show is brought to you by the Minnesota Indian Women's Sexual Assault Coalition.
Go ahead, Ogama.
Absolutely. So if you were tuning in, if you were listening into the commercials, you heard me do a little bit of a commercial for Metro State University. But since we just had students and staff on, I'm going to let everybody know Metro State University is having their 2022-2023 undergraduate open house. They're having them via Zoom October 11th through 13th at 6 p.m. and on campus October 19th at 5 p.m. and October 20th at 9 a.m. You can go to metrostate.edu for more information and to sign up.
Wow, thank you so much. That was a difficult, interview for me, you guys. Thank you for your support. I'm glad Robert's here. We're going to do a quick segment with Robert. I thought it was important to have Robert on tonight to talk about what's happening down on the avenue. And it's kind of cool that I say that, right? We're here with Robert Lilligren and Native American Community Development Institute. Thanks, Robert, for stopping in.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Buju, nice to see you. Ogama, Wendy, I haven't seen you for a while. Good to see you as well.
Yeah, thanks. I'm glad to be here.
I follow you on Facebook, so I know what you're up to. But yeah, we haven't spent time together.
So, Robert, I'm going to be leaving here right after the show. Put my sport coat on and my hard pants. We like to call them hard pants because during COVID we were wearing soft pants all the time.
I know what you're saying.
They're still called hard pants.
Okay, cool. And then I'm gonna get in my my war pony and head over to Minneapolis for this great event.
Yeah, at the gallery at All My Relations Arts.
Yes.
Gallery, yeah. So it's a big deal today. It's an opening of a new show and the opening reception. It's called She Who Lives on the Road to War. And it's an immersive installation and dance performance by Rosie Seamus Dance. And did you check out the gallery today? It's really intensive. The installation, the technology is huge.
No, I haven't checked it out. They weren't letting us use the bathrooms either, so I wanted to sneak in there, but I had to run home and use the bathroom.
Yeah, you'll see tonight. You won't even recognize the gallery. I mean, they've really transformed it. They've been running this technology throughout. And so you'll be able to see the performance tonight and the installation and enjoy some great food from Bob Rice at Powell Grounds. He's catering the event tonight, so it's going to be very upscale on American Indian Cultural Corridor.
Right on. So I'll wear my sport coat and my hard pants and get over there.
Fancy. You'll fit right in. And so this show just looks really great. It's Rosie Seamus. I'm guessing most local folks know her. She is the founder of Rosie Seamus Dance, and she's the daughter of one of our revered founders and now ancestors, Laura Waterman Whitstock. So she's very prominent in the community here and very prominent in the Native dance, Native art, and choreography world as well. And so this project is a response to the loss we've been feeling, right? The collective need to come together in peace and reconciliation, really a response to the difficult times we've been living in. And we've done other partnerships with Rosie and her company before. She's an amazing talent. They're an amazing contemporary dance group. And the name comes from an indigenous tradition, a historical figure whose wisdom and vision helped Hiawatha and the Peacemaker bring the nations together. And she who lives on the road to war is a place for visitors to rest, grieve, condole, and meditate.
Wow. So in a show like this, I know when you have your other art shows at All My Relations, we can kind of go in there and look at the art when there's not. How can we come and see Rosie and what this installation's all about?
Great. Thanks for asking. And so the show runs from tonight through December 15th, but there's a limited number of the actual performances. And so if you go to the All My Relations Arts website or the NACDI website, you can link through to reserve tickets for an actual performance. Otherwise, the gallery will be open regular hours. We'll kind of be limiting the number of people that can be in the gallery at one time because you may have noticed, or maybe you didn't, but it's dark. They dark into the gallery. The control of the light has a lot to do with the installation. So the people will be kind of timed in and out. But it'll be open without the performance throughout regular gallery hours until December 15th.
Wow. I had somebody ask me a question, and this is a little off subject, but how often do you have a different installation? Is it every 3 months, 2 months?
Just about every 3 months. Yeah, we do try to do 4 big shows a year. Our All My Relations art director, Angela Two Stars, is responsible for that programming. And then with our arts team, Alex Buffalo Head and Juliana Enright. And so they program 4 big shows a year. They tend to be a guest curated show, a guest artist show, and they tend to be around common themes. Missing and murdered Indigenous women is a big one in our Bring Her Home series. But yeah, so the 4 big shows. And then we have our mini art wall, which is in the Powell Grounds Coffee Shop that we program as well. That's more emerging artists, and it gives artists an opportunity to sell their work. And then we do probably 3 or 4 community partnerships and events a year that have big community arts events. Sometimes they'll make the art like they did with Courtney Cochran's Never Homeless Before 1492. The big installation piece outdoors at the former Wall of Forgotten Natives, a large homeless encampment right on the cultural corridor. So, but the 4 big gallery shows, and then probably about as many other shows that we partner with.
You know what I'd like to talk about real quick, Robert, is about All My Relations coffee shop, and also it's hooked on, or it's attached to All My Relations gallery. And I want to tell everybody out there that stop in for a cup of coffee and go in there. And I mean, we have people listening to us all over the country, and I know, like, when Ogama stops in the cities, she stops there on the Franklin Avenue. I just want to invite everybody to do that.
Here. So Powell Grounds Coffee Shop, that's in our bright yellow building right there on Franklin Avenue on the cultural corridor. So that houses Powell Grounds Coffee Shop, total community center, right? It's where you go when you're looking for someone to connect with someone in the community. And then All My Relations Arts Gallery, NACDI's offices are in that same tiny little building. And then the American Indian Community Development Corporation, our partner organization that own that building, offices in the basement. So every inch of that building gets used, and I would encourage folks to stop in if you're visiting Minneapolis. We're right in the heart of the American Indian community and the American Indian Cultural Corridor, And it's the place to meet people in the community, right? We were sitting in the office this week, and one of our staff, John Williams, our development director, needed to talk to an activist in the community, Cassandra Holmes, very active in the Little Earth community with the Little Earth Protectors and a strong organizer. And he's like, oh yeah, I got to talk to Cassie Holmes about something. And I said, well, she's sitting in the coffee shop right now having lunch. And that happens all the time in the office. Oh, I got to talk to so-and-so. Oh, they're in the coffee shop. So I'm with you. I would encourage people to stop down at Powell Grounds and visit All My Relations Arts.
Yeah, definitely. And that's especially, I've run into like some of my Ho-Chunk brothers and sisters. I'll see that they were there and I go, oh, shoot, man, I'm only, 10 minutes away. You should have called me. I would have came down and grabbed a cup of coffee and seen you. And so there's people that do know that and come there to the powwow grounds all over Turtle Island. And
for sure.
I just want to invite everyone to stop down there.
Yeah, great. Oh, and we have a new young Ho-Chunk sister working at NACDI. I don't know if you've met her yet, Destiny, but she's from your nation.
Yeah. Well, she'll be running the place soon then, I think.
Yeah, pretty soon. You know how you operate, you Ho-Chunk. Sure.
Yeah, that's right. So I know you got to get going soon, and we've had a jam-packed show. What else would you like to talk about here in the next 3 minutes? I'll give you 3 minutes.
Oh, 3 whole minutes? Well, it was interesting to hear you talking about Metro State, and that's where I'll be tomorrow morning at Metro State, and we'll be in a strategic planning retreat with the other organizational leaders that form the Metropolitan Urban Indian Directors here in the Twin Cities. Metropolitan Urban Indian Directors, MUID is the acronym, or MUD, as we say. And it's about a 50-plus year strong leadership forum, continuously meeting here in the Twin Cities. It's made up of maybe some 36 Native organizations. And it's a forum for the leadership to get together and figure out how to best serve the community, how to indigenize the way we operate, how to sort of throw off the colonized model of viewing each other as competition for resources. And it's a great and important body in the Twin Cities. It's recognized inside the community. It's recognized by public sector, government, corporate, as sort of a place to at least tap in to help navigate through the Native community. Anyway, we're all meeting in the first of a series of strategic plans to put together our strategic vision as organizations here in the Twin Cities about how we can best serve the community in the coming years. So that's exciting, and it's exciting to me anyway.
Right on. And then we also have, my understanding, till the end of the month, we're going to have still have the Three Sisters flea market.
Yeah, Four Sisters Farmers. Yeah, Four Sisters Farmers Market. It's always great to see you guys there. And that'll go through the last Thursday of October, weather permitting. Last year, I think we had to cancel the last 2 because of weather, but today was gorgeous day for it. But it's a regularly occurring farmers market. It's another place where the community kind of comes to meet and greet. It's kind of like a happening. You can get produce, some prepared food, some natural goods and things. And it's Thursdays, every Thursday till the end of October, 11 o'clock to 3, right there on Franklin Avenue.
Well, Robert, thanks for stopping in for this abbreviated segment. We will go back into regular mode next week.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right, right on. Hey, that was Robert Lilligren of Native American Community Development Institute here in the Twin Cities, Minneapolis. We'll be right back after this short break with Wendy in her Sacred Animal section. Oh,
stay with us.
Hey, Olgama, I've been hearing a lot about this term, climate justice. What is that?
Climate justice is recognizing that the negative impacts of climate change don't affect all people equally. It also means transitioning from a fossil fuel-based economy to a more sustainable future. MN350 is one of the groups that's pushing for this transition to protect our futures. You can even get involved too.
That's great, especially since I'm concerned about pipeline projects like Line 3. How can I help MN350?
Just find them on Facebook or visit mn350.org.
Minnesota has the only original wolf population in the continental United States, and 80% of Minnesotans believe the wolf should be protected. Howling for Wolves is asking Minnesotans to respect our true wildlife manager, the the wolf. Their survival is critical to our ecosystems, our communities, and even our economy. As highly intelligent animals with strong social bonds, Minnesota wolves deserve to be protected and admired. Learn more at howlingforwolves.org. Let's live and let howl.
As we head towards colder weather, it's important to make sure you're up to date on vaccinations and protected from COVID-19. The Native American Community Clinic is now administering the updated Pfizer bivalent booster. The updated bivalent booster helps protect against the original COVID-19 strain and against newer Omicron variants. And it will help restore protection that has decreased since previous vaccinations. People aged 12 and older are now recommended to get an updated bivalent booster dose at least 2 months after their last COVID-19 shot. That means the bivalent booster may be given after a person's primary series or after their last booster shot, regardless of what brand you received before. Even if you've already had COVID-19, you should get vaccinated. Right now, at the Native American Community Clinic, you can get COVID-19 vaccines, including updated boosters, at the same visit as other vaccines. However, if you've received a recent monkeypox vaccine, you may need to wait 4 weeks before you can get a COVID-19 vaccine, and you should discuss this with your provider. Schedule your vaccination appointment with the Native American Community Clinic by calling 612-872-8086.
You're listening to Native Roots Radio. This is Spirit from Reservation Dogs. Get up and listen.
Welcome back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
This portion of the show is brought to you by Howling for Wolves, protecting wolves for future generations.
Hey, I wanted to reintroduce my awesome and beautiful wife, Wendy. Wendy was talking about sacred animals since the day this show started and has been working on animal issues through her whole entire life. And it's great to have you on, Wendy. What do you got for us?
Yeah, thanks everybody. Thanks, Robert. Thanks, Ogama. Well, first of all, my name is Hanaji Hihani, and that means cares for them. I was given that name by my Dega Curtis. Curtis goes by Mashke Hanajinga, which means walks on white clouds. I'm a humane policy volunteer leader for the Humane Society of the United States, and I work on animal issues at the local and state level, and it's always my pleasure to do that. If anybody remembers, last month I was talking about a Envigo. So Envigo is this big giant breeding facility in Cumberland, Virginia, and they breed dogs specifically to be sold to research places for the dogs to be researched on, which is a really sad thing. But after several inspections of Envigo, the Humane Society of the United States was able to go in there and save and rescue 4,000 beagles, which is really unbelievable. And I found a really awesome story in this article from, what else could it be called? Animal. And it was about 2 weeks ago that Prince Henry and Meghan Markle's adopted one of those beagles from this facility. And I think it's just fantastic. So after being adopted by Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, a rescue dog named Mamma Mia is living out her golden years as a member of the royal family. She was one of those 4,000 beagles removed from the Envigo facility in Virginia. And she is a seven-year-old beagle, and she was a breeder dog. The facility used Mamma Mia to produce puppies, and any that lived were cruelly taken and sold to research labs for experimentation. It was a terrible life, but after she was saved, Mamma Mia's circumstances rapidly improved. The Beagle Freedom Project is where Meghan Markle obtained Mamma Mia, according to the Los Angeles Times. Shannon Keith, the organization's founder, claimed in an interview with Inside Edition that Mamma Mia lived her entire life in the breeding facility in horrible conditions. Despite this, she remained positive and loving, and after the rescue, she won the hearts of everyone she encountered. According to Keith, Megan calls, this is what she said, the woman from Beagle Freedom Project. Megan calls on my cell phone with no caller ID and says, "Hey, Shannon, this is Megan," according to the Los Angeles Times. And Keith wondered for the first 30 minutes of the conversation, was I talking to Megan Fox? He didn't even know. But anyway, Mama Mia was supposed to meet Harry and Megan at the rescue facility hours after, but they ended up taking her right away. She will now be able to spend the rest of her life at the couple's royal estate in Montecito, California. Mama Mia will have some canine company as Markle already owns a beagle named Guy. So I'm really happy for this Mama Mia dog. And I just wanted to just bring attention to, the research that goes on with dogs, and that everyone could take part in helping these animals in the facility by just buying cruelty-free products. So no matter what you buy, you could use a free app, and I've talked about this many times on the show. It's a free app. You could have it for your Android or your iPhone. It's called Cruelty Cutter. Again, Cruelty Cutter. It's a free app. You put it on your phone and you could scan the barcodes of different items, household cleaning products, cosmetics, all kinds of things. And you could see whether the item was tested on animals or not. If it was tested on animals, it will say bite back. This is a non-cruelty product, and then you could click on the app. And the great thing is that it will give you alternatives, so you can just find an alternative to the product that you were originally going to buy. So, if everybody really just wanted to buy cruelty-free products, we could change the industry slowly, and we could see it happening already. I know that a lot of the big, even cosmetic companies have gone cruelty-free. Maybelline, L'Oreal, they all have cruelty-free and vegan products on the market now. I mean, listen, I don't want to use a mascara that I knew was, put in a beagle's eye. So anyway, I'm really happy for Mama Mia, and she is with the royal family. So I think that's like pretty special. And I just my heart goes out to Megan. I mean, for her to, she could get any dog she wants. She can go and buy the most expensive breeder dog out there. A purebred, which I meant to say, a purebred dog, but she didn't. She wanted to get this dog. So right now in the United States, there's more than 60,000 dogs that are used in experiments, and that happens each year in the United States. In 2021, laboratories reported having 43,685 dogs in their possession, according to the U.S. Department of Agriculture, which is the USDA. And I just want to give the Humane Society of the United States a shout out. They had the task of getting those 4,000 dogs out, and that was quite a feat. So what the Humane Society of the United States did was they partnered with shelters throughout the whole United States to divvy these dogs accordingly, and have a few here and there and here and there and there. So they are in shelters throughout the United States. You could probably just Google if you're interested in one of these dogs, to get them out and give them a good home. Listen, they were kept in a cage their whole life, and they were in this facility for years, that had several inspections fail. And you could just imagine what the kind of conditions these dogs were kept in, and I don't need to give you the gruesome details of it, but they were horrific. And for these dogs to make it out and live the life of royalty, someone just wrote on our feed here, from rags to riches, and that's exactly what happened. So I'm really happy for Mama Mia and for all the dogs that got out of this facility. And again, to thank the Humane Society of the United States for undertaking this task of getting 4,000 beagles out of this facility and working with hundreds and hundreds of shelters throughout the United States and getting them into, a safe place where they could be rehabilitated. They could learn to live in a home, walk on a leash. They could learn, love, and they could, be handled kindly and talking to softly, and all those good things that, puppies need to do. So, yeah, go Mamma Mia.
That's an awesome story, Wendy. Hey, I just want to also, with the 30 seconds left, just to tell everybody that I've seen you use your app, your Cruelty Cutter app, and we've been surprised on both occasions that it is vegan or not vegan, or cruelty free and not cruelty.
Cruelty free, yeah, is most important thing to me. And when I'm at the store, I've people say to me, what are you scanning your products for? And I tell them, and they're like, really? And then they download the app. So it's really awesome for people to ask me about it.
Yeah, it's a free app. Hey, thanks everybody for listening. Thanks Metro State students and staff, Robert Lilligren, Ogama, and of course Wendy. You've been listening to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake. We are the seventh generation.
Free Leonard Peltier.
Now.
Next time on Philosophy Talk, collective action and climate change.
Hotter